All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're talking about a really big announcement out of China. One that's all about writing the global rulebook for artificial intelligence. And, this isn't just some abstract policy paper. It's a move that could genuinely reshape the future of tech for every single one of us. So, let's break down what this all means.
And right at the heart of this announcement was this really powerful statement from Chinese Premier Li Qiang. Think about that for a second. Harnessed and controlled by humans. This immediately tells you that China's proposal isn't just some dry technical plan. No, it's a philosophical one. It's about putting human control front and center in the whole AI debate. It really sets the stage for a global pitch, where the stakes are incredibly high.
So here's the headline event. On July 26th, at the World AI Conference in Shanghai, China, officially dropped this detailed action plan. And listen, this thing is comprehensive. We're talking about a document that goes way beyond just, high-level principles. It actually proposes concrete, specific steps for how the entire world should work together on and regulate artificial intelligence.
But here's the thing, this plan didn't just appear out of a vacuum, not at all. It landed right in the middle of a growing, you could say escalating, technological competition. We're talking, of course, about the rivalry between the world's two biggest economies, China and the US. And right now, AI, well, it's become a central battleground.
And when you put the two side by side, you can really see two competing philosophies taking shape. Just days before China's big announcement, the White House put out its own AI blueprint. And the difference in approach, it's pretty stark. The U.S. is focused on shoring up its own position and working with its allies, while China is pitching its plan as this big, inclusive, global project for everyone.
And this line about an exclusive game, that's a core part of China's whole strategic positioning here. By saying that, Premier Li is tapping directly into a major fear that a lot of countries have. The fear that a handful of rich nations or, giant tech companies could just monopolize AI. It's a message that's absolutely designed to hit home with any country that's worried about being left in the dust.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. What is China actually proposing here? Because this isn't just talk. It's a really detailed roadmap that's actually been in the works for years.
Yeah, this 2025 action plan is really the final piece of a puzzle they've been putting together for a long time. If you look back, this whole thing started way back in 2017. That's when China started putting down these foundational laws for cybersecurity and data. Then, a few years later, they published their own ethical rules for AI. So you can see how they've been steadily building this domestic framework. And this new global plan, well, it's the logical next step, basically taking their own model and offering it up as a template for the rest of the world.
So the plan itself really rests on a few key pillars. First, it's all about getting everyone to agree on technical standards and norms. Then, it's about building up the actual digital infrastructure, the data centers, the networks, the whole shebang. Making sure data is safe and secure is a big one too. But here's what you should really pay attention to. The heavy emphasis on creating an open-source, cross-border ecosystem and, this is crucial, directly supporting developing countries.
And that term we just mentioned, the Global South, it is absolutely central to China's entire strategy. So what is it? Well, it basically refers to the developing, emerging, or lower-income countries, mostly in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. And by promising to share technology and help them build up their own capabilities, China's making a very direct, very powerful appeal for their support in this race to write the rules.
So how does a country actually go about writing the rules for the entire globe? Well, you don't just stand on a stage and shout. The smart way to do it is to influence the groups that already write the rules. And that's exactly China's strategy. They're targeting these powerful but kind of behind-the-scenes international bodies like the ISO, IEC, and the ITU. These are the groups that quietly decide the technical rules for pretty much everything, from how your Wi-Fi works to the size of a shipping container. China's plan is to get inside these organizations and shape the future of AI from there.
But the plan doesn't stop there. It actually goes one massive step further. Beyond just working within the existing system, China put forward its most ambitious idea yet, the creation of an entirely new international organization, one dedicated only to AI.
So, what's the single biggest, most game-changing proposal in this entire action plan?
This is it, the proposal for a brand new global AI cooperation organization. The idea is to build a major new international institution, maybe even headquartered in Shanghai, to coordinate everything to do with AI on a global scale. And what's its purpose? Well, the stated goal is to work with the UN and, here's that key phrase again, to prevent that exclusive game where just a few countries get to call all the shots.
Okay, so let's pull the camera back for a second and look at the really big picture here. Because this isn't just about one country's policy paper. What we're watching is a fundamental race to define the operating system, if you will, for the next generation of global technology.
And this is the bottom line right here. The country or the group of countries that succeeds in setting the standards, the norms, and the ethical rules for AI, they're going to have a massive advantage. They won't just be shaping the tech itself, they'll be shaping the economies and societies that are built on top of it.
And make no mistake, this isn't just some proposal floating in the wind. It's already getting an audience. Get this, more than 30 countries showed up for the first roundtable discussion in Shanghai. And just look at who was in the room. It wasn't just China's usual partners like Russia. You also had key U.S. allies like Germany and, influential countries from the global south like South Africa. That tells you there's a real, broad international interest in the conversation that China's trying to start. So all of this leaves us with a massive, fundamental question. Are we heading toward a world with a single universal set of rules for AI, or are we watching the very beginning of a great digital split, a future with two competing spheres of influence, one led by the US, the other by China, each with its own completely different rulebook? The answer to that question, well, it's probably going to define a huge part of the 21st century. Thanks for tuning in.